Hi, this is Frankie from AboutScript, and in this video we're going to be learning about observables in depth, specifically observable arrays. So to do this, we're going to need a list of something. Let's have a list of names. Using the code from the last tutorial, the link to which will be in the description, as well as the ending result of this tutorial, we're going to go and get rid of everything except for that input, which is our name. We are going to get rid of everything except for the variable that holds our name. Now, we want to create a list of names. So to do that, we have to give it a name such as self.names, and we can create a list such as Joe, Tom, and Jake. Now we go back to our index.html, and we need somewhere for these names to go. So a logical place might be an unordered list or a UL element, and then we can create some list elements inside that, just li, list item, and we're going to say data-bind, and because we want to show one list element for each of our names, we're going to say for each, colon, and then names. Now in our list element, we have to tell it what to show inside it. So we're going to say our text is going to be a magical property called data. Now what data basically means is whatever our context is, that's what's going to show up here. So for example, if we were to put data here, it would try to set the value to the entire view model. Anything else that you put there is as if you were to write data.name, such as this. So just putting name as a shortcut. And what data lets us do is access the current object, and when we're doing a for each, that's an element in our array. So we have our names, so for each, the first time data will be Joe, then Tom, then Jake. And so if we come over here, assuming I set this up correctly and reload our page, you see we have a list of names. However, if we were to go and change an item in our list using using some sort of programming thing, Knockout wouldn't know that it's changed. So to do that, we have to put it in something called an observable array. Basically, an observable array is an array, but it an observable, but it has all the properties of an array. Meaning we can do things like push to it and remove items from it, search in items in it, and every time that we do one of those things, it knows about it and it updates anything that depends on this array, such as our list elements here. So what we want to do is let the user actually edit the items in this. So in order to do that, we're going to need to have our Bob element, or our name element, add items to the array using the array's push method. So let's go ahead and take our input here, and we're going to say that this should actually be in a form. And when we submit our form, by means such as an enter or a submit button, which we're not going to bother creating, submit, we're going to say add name. Now, of course, we have to create this function, which is as simple as attaching a function to our view model, self.addName. And all our addName function is going to do is say self.names.push, and we're going to push self.name, remembering that we're accessing the value, so we need to call the function. And now we have some default names here, but if we were to go up to Bob and hit enter, curious, the submit button needs to be, or the submit needs to be added to the form. That's what I was missing up. So data-bind and submit. When we submit this form, it's going to add the name. So if we reload this page and click on Bob and hit enter, it's going to add Bob. We could add Bob a ton of times, or you could change it to something like Larry. Does Larry have 2 R's? I'm not sure. But there we go. So now we have observable arrays that we can edit and modify on the fly, and automatically updates our data. Just for fun's sake, you can stop watching the video now if you're done, but we could say that for each is self.name, I believe, and then useful for certain situations.